Okay, looks like we are live. I will wait a little bit for people to join. Okay, I will start introducing the topic, today's topic. So I wanted to do some Linux kernel development, but since I don't really have any hardware, which is not supported already by the kernel, I can't really write drivers. But since I don't know basically anything about kernel modules, I thought that it could be interesting to learn how to write Linux drivers or at least work in the kernel and do that live. So today we are learning together how to make Linux drivers. And I decided to follow some of these tasks which are part of the, I don't know how is this thing pronounced, Eudiptula challenge, which is, oh, good evening, which is basically a challenge which is an official project of the kernel, I think, but it's closed right now, so you can't really participate. Yeah, indeed. But I found on GitHub this thing here. Well, there are many of these, but here you have a list of the questions. Of course, here you have the solutions, but I don't think we will look at this or where will be the fun part. So I downloaded a copy of this, and this way I can read the tasks and complete them. My initial intention was to do this on my laptop so that I could stream using a video capture the laptop screen from the desktop, and so I could reboot and test the kernel, but my laptop decided not to work today, and so I can't really do that. And for this reason, I will just skip the tasks which require rebooting the computer. So we will just work on kernel modules. Okay, so the first task is to create a hello world kernel module, and I don't really know how that works. So we will search that. Linux kernel module introduction. Mm-hmm. Okay. So apparently there is very good documentation. I will use this. Hello everyone. Okay, so there is yeah, okay, there is a default makefile to use. So I will just copy all of this. Okay. GPL license is okay. And kernel module for live stream. Well, too long. Live stream module. Okay. And so our task. Let's call this, I don't know. Well, okay. Let's leave it this way. And then it should print to the kernel debug log level hello world. Okay, so here we have indeed the debug function, which is hello world, and I will momentarily comment out this part here because it's not needed for the task. Okay, and we also need a makefile, which should contain this thing here. So let's see. Where is the source file part? Oh, okay. Okay, build. Okay. And I don't remember how I call that. Main. Okay. So just like this, I think. What? What's going on? Oh, I think. Okay. Modules. Okay, I have a lot of kernels installed. What about here? Build. Okay, so we have that. So we'll just modify this. 612. Okay. And it compiled. Okay. So now I should be able to load this thing. How? Okay. Main KO. Valid module format. Okay. Let's see what does this mean. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I can't really do this thing. Good evening. Okay, so apparently I can't compile a kernel module for a version of the kernel which isn't mine. So I need to install, I think, Linux headers. void Linux, but can I choose a version? Because I think I have an updated version of the kernel right now. And I don't want to reboot, so... Okay, looks like I can. Let's see. Which is the correct version. Oh, wait. Okay. 6, 12, 16 headers, like this. No, okay. Yeah, probably it's just two numbers, but I'm on the same one. Okay. Yeah, I think that the only thing I can do is go to kernel.org and then search for my version. And can I have... Linux kernel 6? No, these are the changelogs. Dist? No. I want to download this specific version I'm running right now. Really it is? Is that so complicated? Yeah, okay, I can only do like 5, 7. But I need to change from 6, 12, 16 to... Well, from 6, 12, 17 to 6, 12, 16. And apparently I can't. I can't do that. But I don't want to reboot either way. Okay. Well, can I just... query. Where is it? Okay, so which is the version I'm running right now? Okay, not this one. It's going in series. Okay. Yeah, apparently the only way I can do this is to just reboot into the new kernel version. And by the way, I don't have the new kernel version. Interesting, I guess. Can I kernel.org Torvalds Is there a branch for six? Six, 12, 16. No? No. Good afternoon. Okay, so I can't download this thing any possible way. Nice. Well, not very nice. Hmm. Yeah, I think the only way is to reboot. I can't do much more. I mean, I know. No, that's not true. That's not true. I don't have the correct version. Here we have 12.16, 12.11. No, I need 12.17. Does it really change so much? Huh. Maybe if I go to 6.12 and then go to commit. Okay, so I need to search for sublevel 0 in makefile. Can I have an history of commits of that specific file? Okay. Okay, apparently no. I guess the answer is no, I can't. Oh, but I can on GitHub. Torvalds Linux. So branch. Oh, and on the mirror there is just okay. 6.12. Then I go to the make file, history. So let's see here. Sublevel 0. Do you think it will be feasible to turn my program into a debugger? Yeah, that debugs its own process. What do you mean by that? I don't really know what you mean by that. Okay, I can't get this version. That's all. I really can't. Uh, let's go, guys. That is a canon event. Okay. Hmm, that's unfortunate. Can I? Switch to another kernel version? No, apparently I can't. One thing I could do is to build the kernel. I can build the kernel. How much would it take? I don't think it would take too much because I already built it. So the kernel mod, the objects are already built. It's doing something weird. Okay. It finished. So Linux. Uh, for some reason here, so look at this. I have lib modules, and then there is this version here, 17, which contains the build thing. But my version, which is 16, doesn't have that because probably there is no like devil thing. But for the version for which I have the build folder, I don't have the kernel. What if? Okay, so what if I do something that I definitely shouldn't do, which is putting the sublevel 16 here, like this. What happens now? Ins mode main ko. Oh, of course. Sudo. No. Okay. Yeah, that would. But I think it didn't do anything. Oh, wait. You shouldn't do this. I think. Um, oh, hello. Don't worry. Okay, let's try again. Okay. Can I? No. No, I can't. So it's not that easy, apparently. Hmm. What's in these files? Nothing. Just build files. Okay. So this is the build system itself. Okay, so this could be a problem. This could indeed be a problem. Because I can't compile kernel modules this way. And of course, if I can't compile kernel modules, I can do basically anything. Do I have this stuff in lib modules 14. Yeah, I do here. Well, there is so much stuff. Why is that? There is the kernel itself. This is the whole source code. Yeah. Okay, don't ask me what's going on here. But at least this should indeed work. Okay. And what if I'm probably going to break everything here, but you know. Okay. And then here I will what? So why is it going into that directory? What's going on? VM Linux. Okay. What about 614? Okay, didn't complain about anything, but I don't think I can do this anyway. Okay, of course. Okay. Okay. So I have this kernel installed, so I could reboot into that kernel. But then I would have to stop the live and restart it from scratch. Well, anyway, it's the only thing I can do, so, you know. Let's try to fix this kernel though, because I don't think it will boot. Let's see, make config. General setup. Okay, where is file systems? ext4, ext4, okay. Yep, this should work. The configuration should be the same of the running kernel, but I need to generate init runfs. How does this work? Dragut. Okay, this is not the version I want. So Dragut 614 614 0 RC51 plus --k version. Of course, it's sudo sudo directory boot EFI. What's that directory? Why are you trying to write there? Can I configure this some way? Because I want uh, to force the directory. Oh, okay. Uh, I remember that on Debian base stuff there is something called update init ramfs, but here there isn't, so I need to use Dracut. Prefix. What's the error here? Can't write. Okay. Okay, let's try this. Oh. And in the meantime, I should change grub. So sudo vim Okay, and then I should change the init ramfs here. Okay. So now I have to wait that this thing finishes. Okay. And I have the kernel and the init ramfs. Okay, so guys, I have to reboot my computer to use the new kernel. So I will be back in a couple minutes, I hope. So yeah, see you later.